It's time for another Trope Count, where we count all the traditional small-town hot cocoa romance tropes in a Hallmark Christmas movie. The goal? Find the movie that racks up the most tropes. Will it be today's film? Let's find out. A great Hallmark Christmas film must fit the Hallmark feel-good formula. It's a genre of film with repetitive movie tropes that we all love. We will identify the tropes in the 4 trope categories: story, character, Christmas, and activity. It's all very scientific, and it's fueled by hot cocoa. Today, we take a look at the 2018 Hallmark film Christmas in Evergreen, Letters to Santa, starring Jill Wagner, Mark Devlin, and Holly Robinson Peete. It's the first of the Evergreen sequels, and if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, a retail designer returns to her hometown of Evergreen for Christmas, takes on the task of staging an old general store to sell it before the new year, works with Kevin, the only contractor in town, finds a letter to Santa that was never delivered, argues a lot, and falls in love at the end. So grab some Christmas cookies and make a second wish upon that snow globe. Let's count the tropes that make up Christmas in Evergreen, Letters to Santa. Opening on the famous Evergreen snow globe, in a book narrated by Santa, we get a second story from the town of Evergreen. Meet Lisa, played by Jill Wagner, who along with her business partner Oliver are decorating a tree. They are both owners of a retail interior design business and hope to one day open up their own store. The owner of the store that they're redecorating, Polly, is amazed at their work and loves how it looks. She's even impressed that they put a partridge at the top of the tree to go with the 12 days of Christmas design motif throughout the store. She tells Lisa and Oliver that they are the best at redesigning stores and wants them to decorate her 3 new stores in the new year.
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Don't get excited thinking this is our couple, because these two are business partners only. With all that new work, they anticipate opening their store in 2 years. But Lisa, she's not sure if she's ready to put down roots and stay in one spot. But all of that can wait, because Oliver reminds Lisa that she needs to fulfill her New Year's resolution from last year and visit her old hometown for Christmas. She agrees, and as she is getting into the car, he asks the town's name with a smile. She says,
Evergreen.
Lip-syncing to Deck the Hall, she sees Allie's red truck pulled up to the side of the road with a hood open and somebody working under it. However, that's not Allie, it's Kevin. He's played by Mark Devlin. And Lisa asks the obvious question.
Are you having trouble with your truck?
And we are reassured that the truck is not stolen when Kevin tells her that he borrowed it from a friend. Lisa claims she is good at fixing trucks and quickly tightens something and gets in the cab as she snoops at the clipboard on the seat. The truck starts up and both try to take credit for fixing it. Kevin assumes she is heading to Evergreen, and she says yes, and he points out that she must be since this is the only road in and out of town. If this is the only road in and out, then where do these roads go? And he welcomes her to Evergreen.
Welcome to Evergreen.
Thanks.
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
She crosses the bridge, returning to her small hometown, stopping in front of the Kris Kringle Cafe. Inside is a little girl shaking the snow globe, but Lisa returns her attention to Daisy's store, which is now empty and closed. She has a childhood memory of being in that store, writing a letter to Santa with Daisy, the owner of the store, giving kids candy and asking Lisa to read the letter. Lisa runs into Carol, played by Barbara Niven, and was Ashley Williams' character, Allie's mom, in the first Evergreen film.
You're sure? I'm sure. You're sure? I'm sure.
Carol tells her that the Daisy store closed last year after she passed away, and Carol asks if she knew Daisy. Lisa tells her that she was born in Evergreen but moved away when she was 7. Carol introduces her husband Joe, and they are the owners of the Kris Kringle Cafe. Lisa loved that place. Even though she saw the snow globe through the window, she asks if the globe is still there. And Joe says, sure is, granting wishes by the dozens from visitors to our Christmas Town Festival. Kevin pulls up in the red truck and apologizes for being late. Lisa takes credit again for helping start the truck, and Carol confirms that Kevin didn't steal her daughter's truck. She let him borrow it while she's out of town in Florida.
Why Florida?
Lisa goes to Barbara's Inn, and we find out that Barbara gave up her dream since the inn is now run by Megan and Hannah, played by Rukia Bernard, who confirms Lisa's reservation. Kevin walks in with a tree and laughs when he runs into Lisa once again. They flirt with each other, and Megan and Hannah, they look on. That night, Lisa pulls up to the cafe for dinner and has another memory looking at Daisy's store. Daisy hands her a basket and calms Lisa down when she is worried that Santa won't find her. She tells young Lisa that no matter where you go, Christmas will find you. Daisy puts Lisa into her parents' car, as that was the last time Lisa was in Evergreen. In the cafe, Lisa sits at a table with Mayor Ezra and Michelle, played by Holly Robinson Peete, who introduces herself as the principal of the Evergreen School. Ezra introduces himself as the mayor, and Lisa is impressed and tells him that the town is a dictionary definition of charming. Ezra has been trying to sell the old general store as he inherited it after Daisy's death. He's concerned that it will end up as a chain store, or worse, a fast food restaurant.
Evergreen wouldn't be so evergreen.
Ezra claims that if he can't sell the store by the end of the year, it goes back to the bank and will be repossessed. Lisa believes that the store would sell after a good staging to show the potential and make it more attractive, and we see that the store is not structurally sound. The snowstorm knocked down a giant beam. They probably shouldn't be in there while that beam is fallen. But all they have to do is fix the beam and add some Christmas decorations. So she asks Ezra to point her out to the best contractor. And it turns out that guess what? Kevin is a contractor, and he's the only one in town. He's here for a week staying with his dad.
Kevin, I needed someone handy with tools.
She tells him her idea, and he agrees to do it as a Christmas gift for the entire town.
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
The next morning, Lisa starts the day with peppermint hot chocolate, while Kevin orders a black coffee with some whipped cream. They head to the hardware store. She buys garland, white paint, and some wainscoting. They look through old boxes of stuff and find a large old key with an S imprinted on it, and they buy it for a nickel. Carol and Michelle watch as Lisa and Kevin decorate the outside of the store. They comment that they look good together, but Joe warns Carol not to stir the pot and leave them alone. Hannah walks into the cafe with her brother Thomas and her nephew David. Carol, eyeing his setup, introduces Thomas to Michelle, and we find out that he is divorced and celebrates Christmas in Evergreen every other year. Lisa comes into the diner and then gives them an update on the store as a work in progress. Young David is intrigued about the key in her hand. She tells him that she found it at the hardware store and hasn't found a place to put it yet. David asks the obvious question of what does it go to?
Where does she go to?
Well, of course we don't know, kid. It's just a key in a box. Lisa admits that it could go to any place in town. It's a puzzle. David asks another obvious question on how she's going to figure it out, since you have to try every keyhole in town, and enthusiastically volunteers for that job.
I'm so excited, and I just can't.
Lisa hands Carol the Santa mailbox to find a safe place for it when a letter falls out. She reads the typewritten letter, noticing that the H and J letters are missing. The letter asks Santa for Christmas to be the way it used to be in Evergreen, signed with the initials KM. Michelle says it must be from Kevin, the handyman, who is helping Lisa. It asks to return the Evergreen tradition of candles, carols, and ringing of the old church bells. The traditions all disappeared after Kevin's mother, Ruth Miller, passed away. She was in charge of the festival and made sure those traditions happened every year. And Michelle emphasizes the word was, indicating that Ruth Miller has passed. At the church, Lisa, Hannah, David, and Kevin are all going through the items for the local arts and crafts fair, and Lisa comments they have a lot of great stuff here. And David gives an update that he hasn't had any luck finding the lock that fits that key. They all look up to the basement, and Kevin mentions that he always wanted to see the bells ringing again. He has a great memory of hearing them, but they no longer work. Lisa doesn't remember the bells, but she does have great memories of the snow globe, the mailbox, and Daisy. Lisa needs to make one more stop at the inn where everybody that was just with them at the church is now baking cookies. For some reason, David is excited that Lisa and Kevin, people he doesn't really know, are going to stay and help decorate.
Awesome!
I'm so excited, and I just can't.
Thomas mentions that he's been trying to get Kevin to work at his logging site in Maine. Lisa shows her disappointment, but Kevin will let Thomas know soon if he wants the job. We get a montage of baking and decorating cookies when Kevin gets a text that the beam in the old building is up and secure. They head to the store and the beam looks great when Kevin discovers a hole in the counter with a water pipe behind the hole that may have been damaged. Kevin wants to bring in a plumber and quickly overreacts when Lisa asks if they have time for that because Kevin thinks Lisa's trying to cut corners.
If a pipe burst, it's gonna take twice as long and cost twice as much.
I know, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not saying we cut corners.
Aren't you?
Well, no, I'm...
It seems like you are.
It's here we see that Kevin is a bit of a hothead, and it won't be his last time. Ezra is impressed with how the store looks and breaks the news that the buyer will be showing up tomorrow. Kevin gets agitated and argues that they won't be ready.
Look, I appreciate the enthusiasm. I do. I just don't see how we can.
I don't see how we can't try.
Lisa and Kevin head to Henry's Christmas tree lot to get a tree. You may remember him as the owner of the barn from the first movie, and we learn that he is Kevin's father. Lisa notices an old typewriter that doesn't work properly and suspects that this is what Kevin used to type out his letter to Santa. They pick out a tree and put it in the truck when Kevin gets annoyed that the tree has a bald spot. Henry tells him to slow down, which just aggravates Kevin further.
But sometimes you just gotta slow down.
All right, it'll do. It's fine.
Kevin talks about the tension with his dad. It stems from him not coming home for Christmas after his mother passed. They seem to butt heads quite a lot. They begin to decorate the tree with lights and accidentally touch hands. They get interrupted by David, who is still trying all the keyholes with a giant key, but clearly doesn't understand that a big skeleton key won't fit in a normal keyhole. Inside, they're still staging and spraying pine scent when Ezra comes in with the buyer Nancy. She is a bit early and wants to make the good decision soon. She knocks on the table and says, "Solid, good location, and fresh pine smell." They get out of her way, but watch from across the street at the cafe. Looking on, Joe is concerned that if it doesn't sell, that space will become a parking lot or change the look of the town. He references the Santa letter, not knowing that they suspect Kevin wrote it. Lisa shows him the letter. Kevin reads it and walks out. Ezra comes in to break the news that the buyer won't be putting in an offer. She wasn't interested, and it's just too close to Christmas to find another buyer. Lisa then has the idea to see if Polly may want to buy the store, and tells Ezra and everybody about another buyer. They all get excited, and Lisa grabs the snow globe and makes a wish for a new idea. Kevin's Santa letter is the key to selling the store and organizing all the original Evergreen Christmas traditions. She meets up with Kevin at the store, who has hot chocolate ready for her. He apologizes for leaving early and wants to help finish the store. They continue to decorate the town, moving the mailbox to the street and Kevin working on the bells with his dad. At the shop, Lisa is frustrated she can't find supplies to stage the store. She wants to take a break and invites him to go out and get some dinner, but Kevin politely declines. He has something he has to do, and Lisa's disappointed, but he does ask for rain check. She heads back to the inn where the guests are all enjoying a table of Christmas foods. Oliver surprises her and talks about the train that leads into Evergreen. While talking with Oliver, she has the idea to stage the store with a handmade merch at the church. As they enter the church, they notice that Hannah is directing the choir that consists of Carol, Michelle, Henry, and Kevin.
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Turns out this is what Kevin had to do. Lisa tells everybody about the staging the store of all of the arts and crafts in the basement. They all like the idea, and Carol takes Oliver to look through it. As they are leaving the church, Santa confronts David about the key search and tells him not to give up. That evening, Oliver and Lisa are talking around the tree. She admits that she has fallen in love with the town. It feels like home, and she raves about Kevin, who is peering into the window. He mistakes their closeness as flirting and walks away for the third act misunderstanding. They decide to go ice skating as Kevin and Lisa are on the bridge, overlooking the skating rink of the pond. Oliver yells for them to come down because the ice is warm! And they perform some skating moves, and Lisa awards him a bronze medal. They begin to talk when Kevin comes to the realization that she and Oliver are not a thing. He jumped to conclusions and is embarrassed, and we don't get that third act misunderstanding. Gee, if they had only talked to each other. She asks him to skate and they hold hands. We then get a music montage as they prepare the store while Kevin and his dad are continuing to work on the bells. But back at the inn, Kevin tells Lisa he hasn't decided if he wants to work for Thomas out of state or just stay in Evergreen. They almost kiss but are interrupted by guests and Kevin walks away. It's December 24th and the choir is singing at the gazebo as the town festival begins its 49th year. People are enjoying themselves when Kevin runs into Allie, who heard that her truck played matchmaker again. Allie came back early from Florida because they are Evergreen people. But why do they keep going to Florida?
Why Florida?
She gives him some advice that when the person is right, they can make it work. He heads into the store and likes what he sees, telling Lisa she looks amazing.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
They begin to decorate another tree inside as he thanks her for making this year feel magical. They both are hoping each other will stay in Evergreen and are about to kiss when they are interrupted by Michelle. They try to kiss again and are interrupted by Hannah, Thomas, and David. They all join in and help decorate the tree when Polly comes in with Oliver. She loves the store and she tells Lisa she did it again. She's fascinated by all the merchandise. Looking around, she tells them that she's not going to buy it, but offers Oliver and Lisa jobs. They are excited by her offer and Kevin overhears as a dancing snowman dances around behind him. Kevin walks over and tells Thomas he made his decision as we get the real third act misunderstanding. What Kevin didn't hear is that Oliver and Lisa decided that he would work in Boston while she would buy the store and make it like Daisy's. She is excited to tell Kevin and Ezra tells her he left after taking the job in Maine. Lisa heads back into the store and meets Allie. They discuss how they went to kindergarten together and share in their love of the red truck and Evergreen. It's just like home. She shares the letter with Allie, who doesn't think it was Kevin's letter. She thinks they got the wrong Miller. David is playing with a wind-up car that Santa gave him. He has an idea and runs into the church while Michelle grabs the snow globe and makes a wish. Lisa drives out to the farm and finds Kevin packing up. She asked him if he was going to say goodbye. Turns out that the Santa letter was written by his dad on the first Christmas after his mother passed. He has a memory of young Lisa leaving and saw his dad put the letter in the mailbox. Kevin hands the letter to his dad and he remembers it when suddenly they hear the church bells. Turns out that big giant skeleton key that David's been running around with, putting in every single hole he could find, turns on the bells. Good job, kid. They head into town with the entire town holding candles where Lisa tells Kevin she's buying the store and staying in Evergreen. Kevin admits he should have gotten the whole story. We get a kiss in the snow, another kiss in the snow, with the third as the final kiss for the film. So, how many tropes are in the second Christmas in Evergreen film? Let's count. Looking at the numbers, the film where Lisa returns to her old hometown of Evergreen as an adult, agrees to stage an old general store so the mayor can make some money, argues a lot about trees with Kevin, the only contractor in town, finds a letter to Santa that was never delivered, she believes was written by Kevin, meets Allie, who can't stand Florida, gives a giant key to an overly excited kid who fixes the bells, discovers that it was Kevin's dad who wrote the letter, can't find time to kiss Kevin, and falls in love at the end. If we add up all those different categories, Christmas in Evergreen Letters to Santa has a total of 41 tropes. After the first Christmas in Evergreen film, the sequel feels just a little less magical. Sure, we get the same town and residents, but other than fixing the bells, the focus was more on the store than the town. And I wasn't a fan of Lisa and Kevin's relationship. Kevin clearly has anger problems and makes quick assumptions and emotional-based decisions. While it was great to see that they brought Ashley Williams for a quick cameo, we will see that nobody really stays in Evergreen who is the main character in these films. I think that is my biggest issue with all the sequels. So, did I miss any tropes? If so, tell me in the comments below. Christmas in Evergreen Letters to Santa has 41 tropes, a lot less than the initial film. So will the next film rack higher? We will see with the next Trope Count featuring Maggie Lawson and Mark Green's Hallmark film Christmas in Evergreen's Tidings of Joy from 2019. So how will that movie rank? Click on the subscribe button to be alerted when that episode is released if you want to find out. I'm the Christmas Aficionado, and remember, stay off the naughty list.
You know, I think you underestimate how good I would be.
I always wore pigtails, always chasing animals.
Well, you know I'm expanding, right?
Oh, don't worry about that. That's my baby.
Could you do that to a store?
Curse of the tourist town.
Oh, I guess I just buy vegetables.
Yes.
Smile. Smiling's my favorite.
It's great noises. Evergreen wouldn't be so evergreen.
Well, I mean, we do share a brain.
You know, I'm a little scared that maybe once you get to know me more.
Hey,
It's getting a little weird.
You're very good with glue.
We're supposed to be in Florida.
She's in Florida, but why would you do that?
The ice is warm!
Put the bald spot in the corner.
Wow.
Smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Well, your son here is doing all the work. I just stand around.
Drive off to this almost real-life Santa's village.
I'm the mayor of Evergreen.
Awesome. Fresh pine smell.
Audience.
I got a guy.
Wow, that snow globe works fast.
sure you're closer than you think.
And then there's Kevin. Oh,
Am I that obvious?
Just a little.
I mean, he's smart and he's driven and he's super talented. And he makes me laugh on more than one occasion.
Oh, wow, you do love that.
Yeah, I do love that.
Quick is what we're after.
Well, he's good. Very precise. Ask him to do something with you.
I needed someone handy with tools. I mean, I have tons of experience, and I'm sure that you have some experience. Extra pair of hands never hurts. Why don't you come along? I can promise you we will be fast.
And you think I'm your man?
Do we have time for that? We were gonna do that later. Well, I have no idea if you're my man, but 3 times today.
What?
A reindeer.
And I wanted to do it in person.
But I stopped.
Kevin used to pound away on this thing.
Help me expand.
Wore overalls, and you always talked about puppies. Yes. Oh, by the way, I love your truck.
Yeah, then why did you let me think that was your dad's? Whoa.
Smile. Smiling's my favorite.